In the 5th century, a name struck fear into the hearts of empires: Attila the Hun. To the Romans, he was the scourge of God, otherwise known as a divine punishment. To his enemies, he was an unstoppable force of destruction. But was he just a barbarian warlord, or was there a method to his madness? This is the story of the man who brought Rome to its knees. Before we start, if you happen to enjoy this video and find value in it, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a like so that more people may be able to find it. Additionally, if you don't want to miss out on more videos, why not subscribe? That way you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Let's get started now, shall we? Attila the Hun was born into royalty around 406 CE in Pannonia, which is now part of Hungary. Pannonia was a province of the Roman Empire at the time. He was the nephew of King Rugila, also called Rua or Ruga, who ruled the Hunnic Empire. This royal lineage is considered a historical fact. However, most details of his childhood remain obscure, since our knowledge comes primarily from Roman sources. Some historians believe Attila may have spent time as a hostage in Rome during his youth. It was a common diplomatic practice where noble children lived among potential enemies to ensure peace treaties were honored. If true, this experience would have given him valuable insight into Roman military and political systems. Attila received traditional Hunnic warrior training. He learned horsemanship, archery, and battlefield tactics that would later serve him well. His uncle Rugila appears to have recognized his potential as a leader, grooming both Attila and his brother Bleda for eventual rulership. When Rugila died in 434 CE, the two brothers jointly inherited leadership of the Hunnic Confederation, marking the beginning of Attila's rise to power. Upon ascending to joint rulership with his brother Bleda in 434 CE, Attila immediately faced the challenge of maintaining the vast tribute payments from the Eastern Roman Empire that their uncle Rugila had secured. Their first major victory came in 435 CE when they forced Emperor Theodosius II to sign the Treaty of Margus. It doubled Roman tribute payments to 700 pounds of gold annually and returned Hun deserters who had fled to Roman territory. Between 435 and 439 CE, the brothers expanded Hunnic control over various German and Scythian tribes, strengthening their confederation. A significant adversary during this period was Theodoric I, king of the Visigoths, whom they fought while supporting Roman general Aetius in Gaul. By 440 CE, perceiving Roman vulnerability during conflicts with the Vandals, Attila and Bleda launched devastating campaigns across the Danube frontier, sacking and destroying important Roman cities like Singidunum, modern Belgrade, and Sirmium. Their most impressive victory came in 443 CE at the Battle of Chersonesus. That's where they decisively defeated the Eastern Roman field army, forcing Theodosius II to agree to the humiliating Treaty of Anatolius, which tripled annual tribute to 2,100 pounds of gold and established a buffer zone south of the Danube that Romans could not enter. This early period established the Hun brothers as formidable forces that even the mighty Roman Empire could not effectively oppose. The Huns were fierce warriors, known for their endurance and ability to live off the land. But even they had to rely on whatever food they could find, sometimes fresh meat, sometimes whatever they could scavenge. If Attila and his warriors had access to something like prepper beef, they would have never gone hungry. Luckily, you don't have to live like a nomadic warrior to be prepared. Prepper beef gives you long-lasting protein-packed nutrition whenever you need it. Whether you're prepping for the unexpected or just stocking up, it's a survival essential. If you happen to be interested, I have a link you can use in the description below. Following the Treaty of Anatolius in 443 CE, Attila eliminated his brother Bleda in 445 CE to become the sole ruler of the Hunnic Empire. It was a power consolidation that historians generally accept as fact. With absolute control, Attila turned his attention westward toward the wealthier Western Roman Empire. In 447 CE, he invaded the Eastern Empire again. He defeated Emperor Theodosius II's forces at the Battle of the Utus River and advanced toward Constantinople, only to be stopped by the city's formidable walls. By 450 CE, Attila had found a pretext for Western invasion when Honoria, sister of Western Emperor Valentinian III. She supposedly sent him a ring requesting rescue from an unwanted marriage, although scholars debate whether she actually intended marriage to Attila himself. His massive 451 CE invasion of Gaul met its first major setback when Roman general Aetius, alongside Visigothic king Theodoric I and other Germanic allies, they halted Attila's advance at the pivotal battle of the Catalonian Plains, also called Fields. Undeterred, Attila invaded northern Italy in 452 CE, sacking several cities including Aquileia, which was completely destroyed. His advance toward Rome was mysteriously halted. Some accounts credit Pope Leo I's diplomatic intervention, though disease and supply shortages in his army likely played the decisive role. In 453 CE, at the height of his power and reportedly on his wedding night to a young Gothic princess named Ildiko, Attila died unexpectedly, most likely from a nosebleed while intoxicated that caused him to choke on his own blood. His death triggered immediate succession conflicts among his sons, leading to the rapid disintegration of the Hunnic Empire he had built. Attila's life, despite occurring over 1,500 years ago, offers several meaningful lessons that we can apply to our modern lives. Attila demonstrated remarkable adaptability by learning from his enemies, particularly the Romans, and incorporating their strategies into his own leadership approach. This teaches us the value of studying competitors or challenges, extracting useful knowledge, and being willing to adapt our methods rather than remaining rigid in our thinking. When situations demanded action, Attila never hesitated. His decisiveness in both diplomatic negotiations and military campaigns reminds us that opportunities often require prompt decisions. While thoughtful consideration is valuable, the paralysis of overthinking can sometimes be more harmful than making a decisive choice and adjusting course if needed. Before becoming the feared conqueror, Attila was masterful at building alliances with various tribes and peoples. This shows us the importance of creating networks and partnerships rather than trying to accomplish everything alone. Even the most independent among us benefit from strategic relationships. Attila's campaigns often coincided with moments of Roman vulnerability or distraction. This teaches us to be observant of timing, recognizing when circumstances align favorably with our goals and being prepared to act during these windows of opportunity. While known for military might, much of Attila's power came from psychological intimidation and reputation. This demonstrates that influence often stems from perception rather than just direct action. Building a strong reputation in your field can create opportunities without having to fight for each one individually. Perhaps the most sobering lesson comes from what happened after Attila's death. His empire quickly fragmented without his unifying presence. This reminds us that sustainable success requires creating systems and developing others who can carry forward our vision, rather than making everything dependent on our personal involvement. Attila's relentless expansion eventually created overextension and resistance. In our own ambitions, this suggests the importance of consolidating gains and ensuring stability before pushing further, whether in career advancement, business growth, or personal development. These lessons show that historical figures, even those with complicated legacies like Attila, can offer valuable insights when we look beyond simplistic characterizations to understand the principles that drove their successes and failures. History isn't simply a collection of distant events, but a source of wisdom that can inform how we navigate our complex world today. Until next time, let's all learn from history together and apply those lessons to our lives.